next story, if you have not heard, if you live in Florida, you need to be aware of this story. I've had some crazy stories come out of Florida this year, but this one really takes the cake. And I think people need to understand that this is still happening in this country. So Afeni actually posted this. Afeni said a Black woman who was found hanging from a tree in September 2023, and there are white leftists who will tell you that dismantling white supremacy must take a backseat to center class warfare. Listen to this video, and then I'm going to get into the video from TYT, because so far they're the only ones I've seen that covered this story. Listen to this, guys.
I'm going to need y'all to stop what y'all doing, and I'm going to need y'all to make this video go viral. I'm going to need y'all to like, share, comment, tag other people. I need y'all to watch this video all the way through, and here's why. Now, I'm sure most of you have not heard about this video, as they are trying to do their best job to ensure that this video never sees the light of a day. But a Black woman was just found hung from a tree. It says right there. Woman in Orlando found hanging from a tree. And get this, there's not even been a thorough investigation. It hasn't even been 24 hours. And they're already claiming that this was a self-inflicted unaliving.
Let me pause there for just a second. This isn't the first time that this happened. I want to remind you, during Pete Buttigieg's 2020 presidential campaign, he was getting a lot of pushback from African Americans in South Bend, Indiana, because of the way that he handled some of the racism in the police department, but also because there was a little boy who was hanged. And Pete Buttigieg was supposed to go back to the mother, which he said he would do, go back to the mother and try to find some type of resolution and justice for the family. That never happened. So you'll see videos online of, there was a town hall that Pete Buttigieg held in South Bend, Indiana, and the community came to him and said, "You're the mayor, you need to do something." And Pete Buttigieg was just sitting there on that stage, just like this. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know what to do. So this incident that happened in Florida, this is not a one-off. I want people to understand that. This has been happening. These stories are just not reported as much as you would think. Let me let him continue.
Now, this Black woman that was found hung from a tree. Hold on, let me retract that. Let me start that over. This Black woman who was found partially nude hanging from this tree, his name is Yona Lubrin. And currently, their family is asking for y'all's help, as they say they know different, that there's no way that Yona could have done this to herself. I mean, let me ask y'all, because right now, really, it's not making no sense. I mean, they find a Black woman hanging from a tree, partially nude, and in less than 24 hours of not doing a thorough investigation, they deem it a self-inflicted unaliving. And you would have thought that finding her vehicle less than a few blocks away being burglarized and vandalized, along with all the gasoline poured on it, would have been evidence enough to say that this was not something that was self-inflicted. Now, here's how we can help, because this story definitely needs the publicity and it needs the media attention. So besides just making this video go viral, for those that are in the Orlando area, the family is asking that everyone gather at City Hall on October 3rd at 6:30. Now, seeing as there's barely information being able to be found on Google or anything like that, I've also tagged a couple creators that are going to be best served to give you more information, as they are in the close vicinity right here and right now. I say again.
Okay, so just FYI, when I looked up information about this story, it was very hard to find this story. Very hard to find it. And I'm like, look, somebody's got to be talking about this somewhere. And it turns out that the people who are talking about it, what happened to the video? Did they take the video down? Eric, what happened? I just clicked on it and it... Hold up, guys. I hope they didn't take the video down. See what I was telling you? Let me see. Let me try it again. Oh my God, they're not letting people see this. I'm going to show you guys. Watch this, right? So this is the video that I was telling you about. Okay. Death of a black Florida woman found hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Watch this. You see what's happening? They won't let people see it. What's that, Eric? That one wouldn't show. Yeah. So guys, they are blocking this. Hold on, let me go back. They're blocking this so that people won't see this. And they labeled it as like self-harm or whatever. This woman was not, let me just pull up the article. This woman did not hurt herself. But you see what they're doing here? Let me pull it up on the pull up the article. I'm telling you, it was hard to find this story. Okay, USA Today just posted it. Let me pull this up because a lot of people are not talking about this. They posted it 5 hours ago. Yesterday, very hard to find this. After police say black woman's hanging death a suicide, Florida community pushes for more investigation. And this is oftentimes what happens. The community, Eric, can you close this? This is what happens. Oftentimes the community, those people are the ones who rise up and push for some type of justice. Oftentimes it's not the police. So it says Orlando community members and family are calling on police to further investigate the circumstances surrounding a 30-year-old black woman who was found hanging from a tree. Yo-Yo, or Yolna, known as Yo-Yo, was found hanging from a tree in a residential backyard while police were responding to an unattended death call on Thursday. Let me go on here. Police have spoken about the incident while the investigation is still ongoing to address false information on social media. They said evidence points to a suicide, but the final cause of death will be determined by the medical examiner. So that's questionable right there. Why wouldn't they wait for that examination from the medical examiner before they ruled it that way? Let's go on. Yo-Yo's family believes police did not do enough to investigate and acted under an assumption that she took her own life. Activists working with the Lubrin family say the incident echoes the death of a black man found hanging in a tree 3 years ago, which was ruled a suicide by the same police department. So I told you, this is not a one-off. Same place, Orlando, Florida, but it's been happening across the country. Overall, they have not done their due diligence in providing more insight. Yo-Yo's sister Naomi said to USA Today, I feel like they messed up horribly. So it says sister and Orlando community push for a closer look. Again, so here's all the people outside of the city hall. And again, this happened to a gentleman 3 years ago. So you see, the community has to push for these things. More than 60 people gathered at Orlando City Hall Tuesday evening to call onto the police to further investigate her death. Naomi said that many people showed up after seeing a video of Yo-Yo where she was found dead that was circulating on social media, raised questions about how she could have died by suicide in the backyard of a stranger's home. That's the other key point. This was not her house. The video, which has been removed from social media, but was reviewed by USA Today, showed Yo-Yo with her chest partially exposed in a position that her family believes does not indicate that it was a suicide. She's able to push her hand up and touch the house literally so she can stand up. The person who filmed her body took another video. All doors are open. Hold on, let me see. The person who filmed her body took another video of Yo-Yo's car outside the house. All the doors are open with clothes and other items strewn around the car. The windshield and the driver's door are smashed. So let me get this straight, ladies and gentlemen. We're supposed to believe that this woman smashed her own car's windshield and then committed suicide? Naomi, that's her sister, also described a number of red flags that she said police should have investigated further. OPD declined to comment on the investigation and therefore have not confirmed the following. Now, this is what Naomi said. The man who took the videos lives with another man in an efficiency unit behind the house Yo-Yo was found at. They were leaving for work when they saw the body and did not call 911. They did not talk to the police that day. That's strange to me. By the time Naomi arrived at the scene from her home in Fort Lauderdale, a few hours after police reported arriving on the scene, police had already packed up and left. Police told Naomi that they did not search inside either of the homes because they did not have probable cause. Texts from Yo-Yo the night before show that she was with someone she described as creepy. Let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together, ladies and gentlemen. The police are just going to ignore that. Witnesses told Naomi they heard a woman making a lot of noise that night. They're not looking into this at all, and then just automatically ruled it as a suicide, and now they're rekindling. So they don't know what direction to take it because they're getting so many contacts from the community. So this kind of stuff, like, this is why I push so hard back against policing, because like I said before, they ain't solving these crimes. A lot of times I think some people, they watch like these cop shows and they think this is what cops are actually doing. They really out here solving these crimes. They're not solving these crimes. They solve 0.02% of crimes. This was a perfect example. This is very concerning. Who was Yo-Yo Lubrin? She was a brilliant, smart, intelligent young lady. She was full of laughter and always gave love. She took care of their disabled mother and was a loving aunt to her nieces and nephews. Naomi said that Yo-Yo was a part of the LGBTQ community and believed in unity above all else. Her 31st birthday would have been October 13th. The family has set up a GoFundMe to help with the funeral costs and a second autopsy. There are many more stories like this. We'll have to wait and see what the medical examiner reveals. But this is very, very concerning. Very concerning. Let me go to some of the comments here. Terry says there was a black girl here in Massachusetts found hanging from a tree a few years back. There was a story that, this was before I had my show, but there was a story that I had shared on Facebook. There were a group of boys that tried to hang a kid in New Hampshire. Thank you, Dwayne. Cops do not solve crimes. Cops kill innocent black people. And telling y'all about policing.